lawful wedded husband.
To be my...
Barbara not Barbara Jean's heart. With a tramp like you?
Well, I know it hurts being third rate, but aren't you accustomed to it yet?
Oh, Robin, I see you. I myself the slut of Springfield!
Son of a bitch in heat.
I found out myself what love is all about.
Hey everybody, it's me, Nikki. Hey everybody, welcome to Ranting with Ricardo. We're here to talk about what? Them soaps. But before we get into all of that, listen, y'all see what's going on in the world right now? Y'all see what's happening. I'm not trying to persuade y'all to do anything, but make sure you know what your rights are. Make sure you register to vote. Make sure you know what's on the ballot. Make sure you know who you're voting for. And make sure you go and, actually perform your civic duty every time it's time to vote, okay, for the little elections and the big elections, okay? If voting wasn't so important and it wasn't really important and your vote didn't matter, it wouldn't be a situation of them constantly trying to take your voting rights away from you. And it's not just one group, it's a lot of people they want to take voting rights away from. So go ahead and hit them links in the description box down below, vote.gov and vote.org. Make sure you're registered to vote, make sure it's at the right address, make sure you're able to vote, and just keep yourself well informed about all the elections happening around in your state, in your city, in your town, in your county, in your parish, wherever you live. Just make sure you are able to vote and you are registered to do so. And with that being said, because listen, like I said, if GH is getting political, we're gonna, make sure y'all are well informed too, okay? GH is trying to keep the people of GH informed, and I'm trying to keep the people of the world informed, okay? So make sure you check out all of that in the description box down below, those two links, as well as links to all my other things. And don't forget to hit the subscription button and hit the notification bell so you can be informed about all the great things we have going on over here. Okay, so let's be clear on something. Sunny and Nina, they're not getting back together. Nina and Sunny have come to an understanding that, hey, we were never going to be meant to be because this was built on a lie. They apologized. Nina said, listen, you was right about Ava. I don't know why I didn't listen to you. And why did you protect Ava? Oh, because she was the mother of my children. Y'all know Sunny is down bad for the mother of his children. No matter what they do, no matter what they say. Hell, Carly at one point turned state's evidence on him, and he was still down bad for her. Okay, look at it. Look at it. Take a look. Okay, great. So, his whole thing is he's going around to the different women in his life and the different people in his life to see if they'll testify on his behalf as it pertains to Ava. Now, he already got Carly because, Carly can't stand Ava. And now he's got Nina on his side because Nina says if Ava is dumb enough to call her to testify on her behalf, she's going to do the very opposite of what Ava wants her to do. Now, Maxie is trying to talk to Nina, and they're talking about how, listen, I lost myself in Sunny. Trying to be the perfect person for him, but I've gotten my life together. I'm no longer gonna no longer gonna blame other people. I'm going to take responsibility for things not working out with this man. Why? Because a lot of their stuff was built on lies, and I'm never gonna lose myself. And Nina is growing just a little bit, just a little scoonch, okay, just a little bit. Nina is very much determined to get Drew elected to Congress. She believes in him. And she still, actually has a little bit of a for him for helping her and Willow, build a relationship again. And, Maxie is just happy for Nina. And, Nina's determined not to ruin any part of Willow's life. And she wants to get Drew elected because that's what Willow wanted. Now, when Sunny returns home, guess who's there? Natalia. What you doing? You're the housekeeper. Let me in. And she's like, I know you're upset with me about what I said. And Sunny's like, yeah, no, don't like what you said. Don't like that my daughter was, collateral damage in my war with Ava and everything. And, Natalia says, the phobe says, I'm here for Blaze. So she wants Blaze to have her music career. She worked hard to build the career, and because of the homophobic words that Natalia was spewing, her career is done. So she wants to. Well, Sunny was like, "You said the wrong thing to the wrong person." No, she just said the wrong thing. Said the wrong thing. She definitely said the wrong thing to the wrong person, but she definitely said the wrong thing. So don't try to get her off with the, "Oh, it's okay." It's not. So they're talking, and she's talking about how I regret it. I regret all my words. I finally understand what Allison, y'all know that's what Blaze's real name is, and Christina truly are in love. And Sunny is like, "Oh my God, okay." Okay, good. You finally got your life in order, especially because she tells him Christina called her out. Sonny's like, "You want me to be the go between?" And she's like, "No, that's up to my child. I want your help with Blaze's career." So she did her research, i.e., listening to everyone around town, and she knows that he bankrolled L&B Records back in the day. So Natalia wants him to invest in Blaze's career by starting a private label. And he's like, "So you want me to bankroll a brand new record label?" And she's like, "Yes, I'll take care of the logistics. I'll do this. I'll do that." Sonny agrees. Y'all know Sonny. Sonny agreed. He agreed like he did when Lois and Brenda came and asked him for the money back in the day. He agrees. However, it's under one condition. Brooklyn is in charge of everything. That's my offer. Take it or leave it. Nothing else to it. I told y'all they was stealing my stuff. I knew L&B Records was coming back. Okay, we're going to get Lois, we're going to get Brooklyn, and we're going to have a good old time, okay? So down to the Metro Court, Gio is, lost in thoughts. Jocelyn's like, "Come on, Chop Chop, you got to get to work. You're too distracted." He apologizes. He takes care of the guest. He apologizes to Jocelyn again. And Jocelyn's like, "Listen, I'm not your boss, okay?" And he was like, "But you're related to my boss. And my boss is over there talking to Lois." And, he was like, "I think I overstayed my welcome." And she's like, "What you mean?" And he's like, Lois had arranged a big opportunity for him back in Bensonhurst. And, Jocelyn has to remind him that Lois was a great music manager. And he's like, "That has to be it, right? Why else would she want me to leave?" And she's like, "Do what makes you happy." He didn't think Lois wants him to leave because she don't want him around. And I think Lois is just like, "I'm a music manager. Any opportunity that comes for anybody I love who's in music, I'm going to try to do my best to get them to take it because I'm all about my people, my people, my people." Now, Carly and Lois are sitting down. They're talking. They're having a little drinky drink. Lois wanted to talk about Carly and Sonny's relationship. Carly's like, "Listen, that's off limits." However, what about Gio? So Lois starts explaining how Gio's mother came from Italy to New York, and she was working with the New York Philharmonic, and she had met and fallen in love with Gio's father. He was scheduled to be deployed to Afghanistan before they met. So this whirlwind romance ends with Camilla and Francis eloping before he gets deployed. Now, shortly after the fact, she finds out that she's pregnant with Gio, but Francis is killed in action, so she can't share the news with her husband. We've heard these stories. These stories have played out in real life. There are many children who, are born to mothers, born to parents who one parent was in the army who passed away before they ever knew that their child was ever going to be here in the world. So she explains that, everyone in the family had been devastated, but Camilla, she picked up the pieces. She returned to the Philharmonic. Everything was great. Everybody thought they would just live this amazing life until Camilla died when Gio was 10. And, he was playing the violin, and Lois had reached out to Sonny to help with Gio's education. And, Carly understood why why Sonny would help Gio, but she's like, "I don't know why he hid him." So the conspiracy theories are either this whole Camilla and Francis story is a ruse because Gio is Courtney and Jason's son, or Gio might be Sonny's son, or hell, Gio might be who knows at this point. Now we have Bobby's, and Fake Jagger is banging on Jason's door and telling him, "You better let me in. I'm a huff and puff and you blow your house down." And Jason's like, "Listen, this is where I lay my head at. Can we just go to the warehouse?" "No, We gonna discuss business wherever I want to discuss it. I hold all the cards, okay? And you better tell me what I want, and you better give up Sonny, or Carly's going to jail. I'm like, seriously, do your job correctly. My God. So fake Jagger is like, you're gonna turn on all the information, turn over any and all information on Sonny. And Jason's like, I argued, our deal was for pikemen. Well, Sonny had been involved with pikeman shipments. It's like, listen, I'll make this clear to you. I can't answer any questions about Sonny, okay? Can't. Can't and won't. Gabe been gone 2 years. I don't know nothing. So here go fake Jagger. Oh, Sonny tried to unalive you. Oh, no he didn't. Okay, I know he didn't. I know he was not behind the attempt on my life. Well, who else could it be? Jason said, listen, I advise you to go through a proper investigation and find out. How about that? Okay, you happy about that? Listen. Fake Jagger has a hard on for Sonny, and I understand what everything that went on with Karen back in the day. But at the end of the day, once again, I'm going to reiterate this. You didn't give a damn about your brother because your brother was dying. You came to visit him once. You didn't come to his funeral, and you never stopped by his grave. And you didn't do anything to support any type of research or any trials for HIV patients, anything like that. Didn't do that. Nope, nope, nope. Didn't even start a charity in his name. Didn't really care about your brother. Get the hell out my face with this. So he's remaining adamant that Sonny has sent shooters because Jason Jason hadn't fallen in line when he arrived back into Port Charles. And Jason said, "Okay, then why am I still here? Then why am I still here?" And Fake Jagger is like, "Oh, because he hasn't found anyone as good as you. He hasn't found anyone as good as you to do the job, to take you out like you would do the job." Seriously? That's the narrative we're going with? He hasn't found anybody as good as Jason? He can call Sean up, Sean to do the job. And then he's like, oh, Sonny only cares about himself. And then he proceeds to say, oh, Sonny destroyed your life. And Jason said, he didn't destroy my life, you did. At the end of the day, a lot of people like to say that Sonny destroyed Jason's life. And it's just like, y'all are forgetting that the Jason becoming the flip from Jason Quartermain to Jason Morgan happened the night Jason Quartermain got into the car with Alan Jr. Quartermain. Alan Quartermain Jr. while Alan Quartermain Jr. was drunk, and he went through the windshield and hit the tree. Okay, that was the start of the flip between Jason Quartermain and Jason Morgan. When Jason, no last name, woke up in the hospital, he didn't remember anything. He had a traumatic brain injury, and Tony Jones treated him like an invalid. Okay? When Jason got home, everyone was treating him like an invalid and trying to control him and not treating him like a person, thus causing him to run the hell away and change his last name. Now, if y'all want to talk about how Jason Morgan ended up with Sonny Corinthos, look to no other but Robin Scorpio, because Jason found Sonny's money and Robin took him to meet him and thus started that relationship. And Jason could have left at any time. There have been many times that Jason has left. Jason could have stayed gone. Jason has made these choices in his life. No one ruined his life. It was just a factor of many choices that he made over the years that he could have made the opposite choice, and then we could have been like, okay. But he didn't. And I mean, Jason is like, you made the choice to do this bid with the FTB and the I to protect Carly, but he not lying. Like, all y'all had was a little funky recording of her saying she was taking over the business, nothing more, nothing less, and you've been holding this over his head for the longest time. And Fake Jagger is like, well, you could have rejected the deal and walked away. And then he goes on to accuse Sonny of terrorizing Ava by threatening to take their daughter away. And he's like, listen, I would advise you to think twice before believing anything Ava had to say. Fake Jagger's not understanding this loyalty Jason has to Sonny. And he's like, what happened to Jason? The Jason I knew was a good guy. Do the right thing and give him something that would take down something to keep Avery with Ava. And it's just like the Jason you knew was Jason Quartermain, but we're not going to forget how you came into the picture and how you didn't like Jason Quartermain whatsoever. The only reason why you started liking Jason Quartermain was when he moved on and wasn't sniffing after Karen. But we're not going to forget how I think it was like homecoming. It was either homecoming or prom. You popped up and took Karen away while she had been dating Jason. We're not gonna forget that in that whole cheatation thing. Quit playing with us. And Jason was like, why is the F to B and I concerning itself with custody matters? And here goes fake Jagger. Sonny needs to be stopped before he wrecks more lives. Most of these people who get involved with Sonny know what they're getting into. And if their lives are wrecked, it's because they made the choice to wreck it. Y'all act like Sonny is a big bad, the end all be all, like he is so important that he'll wreck any life he touches. Most of these people know what they're getting into when they do business or they get into relationships with Sonny. Stop playing these games. And Jason reiterates, I don't have nothing on Sonny. Jason keeps looking at the time and he goes to the fire escape. He gets Valentine's satellite phone and he hands it over to fake Jagger and he says, listen, this belongs to Valentine. It's proof that he was the one running Pikeman. And here go fake Jagger. Are you sure it's Valentine and not Anna in charge of Pikeman? And Jason's like, yes, it's Valentine. He's the head of Pikeman. On the phone is everything you need. If it's hundreds, if not thousands of records of proof. And he's like, well, how'd you get the phone? He said, you really want to know? Instead of asking, yeah, instead of saying yes, he's like, well, how'd you get the phone? Well, why didn't, not even how'd you get the phone? Why didn't you say anything sooner? And Jason said, you came in here ranting and raving, wanting me to flip on Sonny, and had been flapping your gums. Now, I could have told you earlier, but you just kept talking. So he pulls out his phone and he orders a unit to go on down to Valentine's house. So later at the Metro Court pool, Jason bumps into Gio and he recognizes him as the violinist at Brooklyn's wedding. And Gio's like, I'm surprised you remembered me. And he assumed that Jason was there to see Carly, since Jocelyn told him that Jason is considered a VIP guest. And Jason was like, listen, only Carly and Jocelyn believe that. I'm just a regular diggler schmegler dude from around Port Charles. That's about it. And, Jason compliments Gio's performance at the wedding and he walks to go see Carly at the bar. And Jason's like, to Carly, it's done. Nothing more, nothing less. It's done. And he reveals he had given them what they wanted, the F to be an I, and they're free as long as, fake Jagger keeps his word. So down at Valentine's house, he's asking Anna, let's run away together, let's be together. And Anna, she holds back tears and she's like, they have no time to talk. You need to leave as soon as Charlotte arrives. And he's like, you cared enough to warn me. And she insisted she had done it she'd done it for Charlotte because Charlotte needed her father in her life. And Valentine's like, you're here because you love me almost as much as I love you. So run away with me. And she's like, I can't. Okay. I can't. So they're going back and forth. And they're going back and forth. They're going back and forth. And he's like, consider a new life. And she's like, but let's consider the life I'm about to sacrifice. That means no time with Robin, Emma, Noah, or for any reason. I can't see my daughter or my grandchildren. And he's like, well, it won't take long for the FBI to connect the dots back to me. And Anna wasn't concerned about that. So they kiss and he's begging her to leave. And she's like, I'm sorry, I love you, but I can't go away with you. And she asked him, if he had, money and a new identification, if him and Charlotte would be fine. And she asked, why would you risk everything to get involved with Pikeman when you had a good life here in Port Charles? What happened? And he's like, you did. And he was like, I've always been aware of Pikeman from the very beginning, of the people who created Pikeman, including the WSB head at the time, which she's not surprised about this. And he reveals that Anna's role in the defection from a general's defection had been imperative to getting the operation legitimacy, but the goal had been to get like $10 million. So Anna realizes Pikeman had been created to funnel arms and money to entities the WSB politically supported, even if those entities had been at odds with, the government. And he revealed when he resigned from the WSB as a traitor, he had kept in touch with Pikeman because they had, liked his expertise, and Valentine had liked their money. And then he says, "You busted Brennan," and I guess reasons to be a good. You busted Brennan, and the arrest created a vacuum that Valentine had stepped into, and I guess I was out of reasons to be a good boy. And she wished he had told her, and back when they had openly been in love and promised to trust each other. And he's like, "Well, it crossed my mind, but I didn't want to put you in a position to arrest me." And she said, "Yet here we are again, okay?" Valentine points out, "You didn't arrest me," and she wants to know about the fabricated emails between her and Brennan that Agent Kate had gotten from her personal email. And he confesses that, "Hey, I've been responsible for that, but there was no incriminating evidence in the emails that could hold up in court." He had promised everything had been, just, little white lies, little red herrings. And he's like, "You love me and you still couldn't resist using me." No, she says, "You love me, but you still couldn't resist using me." So he apologizes and he was like, "I'm not going to do it again." And he's just confessing her love, and she keeps telling him to flee as soon as Charlotte gets home. And it's just like, "You gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go." So later, when old boy fake Jagger bust up in the house, agents and all that stuff, he doing a search. Valentine and Charlotte are gone, and Anna's in her car, smiling, giggling, having a good old time. So Jason and Carly go to the footbridge. They're drinking beers. They're finally free. And Jason's like, "I don't even know if I remember how to be free to live my life. The only thing he knows for sure is that spending time with Jake and Danny until Jake leaves for Barcelona." And she's like, "What does your what does your new life look like?" And he's like, "I can't just pick up where, I left off." But he had to keep trying with Sonny, as Sonny was about to get in more trouble than he actually knew. So Tracy's down at the stables, and her and Cody are, talking. She couldn't sleep, and, he's having his own issues. So they have a beer together, and she's like, "I can't sleep." And he's like, "Why you can't sleep?" And she's like, "The air conditioning." And she figured um not sleeping well probably be the way it was for her. And he's like, "Well, if you can't sleep, you want to do some work?" "No, I'm a quarter man. I don't do that." And she talks about how she makes lists in her head to help her, help soothe her to sleep. And, Cody's like, "I don't know how that feel. I have a lot of baggage about," no, he, not baggage. He brags about not being a worrier. Like, "I don't worry about things." And I was like, "Must be nice. I worry about everything. Y'all don't know how stressed I was yesterday after the news. I felt like it was November 2020 all over again, and that was not a good time. Child quickly planning my exit depending on how things go." Um, so Tracy wondered what's going on. So Cody tells her, "I told Mac," and she's like, "What now?" And Cody is truthful. He was like, "Usually I would just move on, but he promised Maxie and Sasha he wouldn't leave." And Tracy's like, "Listen, as your friend and your employer, I refuse to give you any kind of severance, health insurance, or recommendation if he didn't give her at least a 30 days notice." And advised him that the family was very comfortable, and he figured it'd give a shot if he ever had a real family. So somebody comes in because Tracy's like, "What are you doing here?" So Dex is down to the police station. He down there to have dinner with Chase because Chase is working late, and they getting caught up about his training and talking about Chase's time as a cop in Maine and in Boston. And he's just advising Dex to take your time, get a feel of everything. and telling him words of wisdom from Gregory, be so good that they have to accept you, which is typically what you hear in different work fields of work, especially if you look a certain way, or you may have a disability, or based on your sexuality, anything like that. You be so good, hell, be so great at your job that they have no reason to not accept you. They're just gonna have to accept you for who you are. They might not like it, but you gonna have to find somebody else that is better than me at my job, which quite possibly you won't. This, gets Chase all sad, and Dex assures him that grieving takes grieving takes time, and Dex wish he felt the way about anyone in his family. He informed Chase he wasn't close to his family, and he talks about when he joined the army right out of high school. Things felt right, and he said that joining the PCPD, things finally felt right again, like home. So good times are being had by all. Brooklyn shows up to Sunny's, and she's unhappy to see Natalia, and Sunny revealed that he and Natalia had come up with a plan to salvage Blaze's career, and they needed Brooklyn. And Natalia explains that she wants Blaze to put out music on her own independent label, which Sunny would finance. And Sunny says, on one condition. And Brooklyn's he's like, that condition is for you to run the label. And Brooklyn's like, no. Yeah, no. I have demands, including all print media. And like, I have demands. Like, I have a list of demands, including all print and media being managed by her and subject to her approval, and that Natalia would get no say in where and when Blaze performed. Now, Natalia wasn't happy about that, but Brooklyn stated that the offer was off the table once she walked out the door. And Natalia's like, I'm not being cut out of her, career over one mistake. And Brooklyn's like, it was a hell of a mistake. And she's like, your maternal authority over Blaze is a bad one. And Natalia knows that Blaze trusts Brooklyn, and she figured it was time to trust her daughter, so she agreed. And Sonny gave the women, drinks to toast, and he told them that they can handle the music while he focused on getting Ava what she deserved. And Natalia's all like, oh my god, yes. And Brooklyn's over here looking concerned. And it's just like, oh god, this is not going to be good. So Christina and Blaze go to Crimson. They're talking to Nina, and Nina immediately apologizes. Like, she's apologizing for the role that the invader, her role in the invader article. So she gets a phone call. She makes a phone call and tells somebody to get down to her office. And she explains to the women that her new editor-in-chief only cared about clicks and views and hadn't thought past that. And Christina knows that, it's mostly Ava's fault, and in a class that Adrian is the second worst after Ava. So Adrian comes in, and Nina introduces him to Christina and Blaze, and she figures it's a good time for him to apologize. Adrian's like, I'm truly sorry. I hadn't realized how big the story had became. He explained that he was under orders from Nina and his own conscience to fully support Christina and Blaze when they were ready to respond. And then Nina tells him to get out of her office, and he runs out like the scolded dog he is. Okay, go and run with your tail tucked between your legs. You shouldn't have ever listened to Ava about anything. Nina wonders, what could she do for them after this? And Christina explains that Brooklyn had set up an interview with them with Perez Hilton, and they were hoping Nina could coach them in preparation. And she's like, listen, just be yourselves, show the public that they are, you're doing your best, like every other human. And she agreed to help them, and they about to start immediately. So who popped up? Hold on, give me a minute. So Jason and Carly continue their conversation on the footbridge. Carly is, telling Jason like there's nothing better than having him home, and she's expressing her gratitude for him sacrificing his 2 years of his life for her. But she also felt like she owed him something. And he's like, listen, there's no debt. Not between us, not ever. Now remember, since they met, and I'm not talking about when he was the Quartermain, since he became the Morgan, this has been their relationship. So Jason told Carly he would do it all over again because he and Sonny had been the ones whose actions put Carly in a position to have to go to the meeting with the 5 families. And Carly's like, so you saying I'm not cut out for the gangster life? And he said, you a lot of things. And she slow it down. But my boss ain't one of them. And she says, like, I missed you so much. And he's like, I missed you too. And now we don't have to anymore, okay? We besties for resties. We back up in here, okay? Tag team back again. Hey, like we about to mess something up. I don't know what we gonna do. I don't know what we about to mess up, but we gonna mess something up, okay? We about to wreak havoc, okay? Oh, so Carly asked Jason if he knew how he planned to get back through to Sunny, and he's like, "Listen, I've been unable to say anything to Sunny without making Sunny angrier." And Carly says, maybe you can explain to Sunny since you had turned over the evidence to Pikeman, and Jason figures that Fake Jagger is no longer Jason's problem, but Fake Jagger still poses a problem for Sunny. And Jason explains that, Fake Jagger is gunning for Sunny and planning to use Ava in a custody case to do it. And he's like, listen, I gotta get back to him. I gotta help him figure out we gotta figure out these problems together. And Jason points out that Fake Jagger hated Sunny for many years and never had any opening to take Sunny down until now. Okay, because now he works for the FBI. And, Carly is just so thankful that Jason was there to help her, and they both agreed they make a good team sometimes. So who was at the door down to the stables? It's Lil James. What is Lil James doing here in the middle of the night? So James tells Cody that Mac would not let Cody give riding lessons to James anymore. After James informed the adults that Maxine and Spinelli were both at home, James told Tracy he had taken a ride trip to the Quartermain estate. Baby, that's one way to do it. Back in the day, the kids used to hop on bikes or take a taxi or call somebody to pick them up. But baby, now they take a ride shares. Y'all got to be careful about that. So James admits that he stole Georgie's phone to call a rideshare, and he climbed out of his bedroom window in order to leave the house unseen. He is truly Maxie's son. And Tracy's like, you know what? I like that boy. He's smart. That's a smart boy. That child is smart. I was like, yeah, Tracy, that child is smart. Cody tells James that Cody is going to have to call Maxie. And James insisted that he wanted to continue taking lessons with Cody. And he asked Cody, did I do something wrong? And Cody assures James that you're not responsible for Max's decisions. So later, when Maxie and Spinelli come to the stables, Maxie's like, I can't believe you snuck at the house. And James said, you the one who took the screens out the windows. And here goes Spinelli. They were removed in case of a fire or emergency. And he said, going to see Cody was an emergency. And Max says, like, you're not allowed to leave the house alone without telling anyone. And you're not allowed to steal your sister's phone. And you're not allowed to call a rideshare. You're also not allowed to use the window as an exit. Okay, listen, tag team parenting, we love to see it. So Cody tells Maxie, hey, he needed James to know that the decision had not come from Cody. And Maxie's like, neither Cody nor Mac would decide where or when James would get his lessons. Maxie would decide. Maxie told James they would discuss another time, assuming, James would not be grounded for life. And Spinelli takes James to the car, and she thanks Cody for calling her. And before she left, she reminded, Cody, hey, you got to stay in Port Charles. Quit playing with me. So when the family of 3 gets home, James gives Georgie back her phone, and he asks if he was grounded. And Maxie informs her son that she's still very much undecided on what's going to happen. And James is like, listen, I had to see him. I need to know about my riding lessons. I still want to take my riding lessons. And I really hope Cody was telling the truth. And he's like, something weird's going on, and nobody's telling me, and I can tell. Spinelli's like, that's a smart child. And Max is like, you're right. So Georgie is worried that Mac is sick, like Violet's grandpa. Maxie assured Georgie and James that Grandpa Mac was not sick, but he had gone through something private, and Maxie said they would all have to be patient with him. Georgie went to bed. James maintains that, I want to continue my riding lessons with Cody. And Maxie's like, give me a little time to figure this out. He like, this stank. I'm going to bed, tired, mad at y'all. So Spinelli and Baxter are drinking wine on the couch, and he's like, "Listen, James is a man on a mission." And he asked Maxie like, "What you gonna do with this Cody Max situation?" And she's like, "I'm frustrated, sad, happy, excited, and I'm convinced that Mac will forgive Cody, but she want Mac to speed up the process." Okay, so Cody down at the stables, he catches uh, a glimpse of the cowboy hat that James typically borrows. And he's all sad and down. And Sasha's like, "I came as soon as I got your text. What's wrong?" And he's like, "Everything." And he tells her everything that just happened and how, he can't blame Mac for not wanting him around his grandson, and pointed out that, "Hey, James is your nephew." And, after he explains that Maxie said she would be the one who decides who would be James's writing teacher, Sasha's convinced that, Cody is not banished from his family. And he's like, "Listen, it sounds like Maxie and James have faith in you, and I do too. So, there's that." So when Tracy gets back to the main house, she saw Gio sitting in the kitchen eating a sandwich, and he offered to make Tracy one. She declines. And she's about to make her some tea. And Tracy was like, "You would be smart to be afraid of me. It's my house after all." And listen, listen, I know how y'all feel about Gio, but I was waiting on this. I was waiting on this one. He said, "I thought it was Monica's house. Didn't your brother Alan give it to her?" And Tracy smiled. Listen, y'all know how much Tracy hates to hear "it's Monica's house. Alan gave it to her." But we love to hear it. So they sitting down there, she's drinking her tea, he's eating his sandwich. He talks about how he left Fordham to go to PCU because the music department was better and because PCU had given Gio a scholarship. And Tracy, quizzed Gio on which borough of New York City had the best concert halls, pizza, sports arena, all those great things. And Tracy admitted she knew nothing about Staten Island because she had never gone there. And Gio's like, "Listen, don't worry about it. No one does." So they're just like talking. They're talking about parks, talking about gardens. She's informing Jill that about the gardens Lila had gifted Port Charles. And he's like, "Well, maybe you could show me sometime." And she was like, "Maybe I can." And we love to see it. Now my girl Trina's going through it, okay? Trina's going through it. She's still very much missing Spencer. She got her turtle dove that she had gotten from Spencer, and it was like a set of two. Spencer had one, she had the other, and she couldn't understand why the figurine made her so upset. And she's like, "Because you're not over it." And it's just like, I want Trina to be okay. I would love for Trina to just be happy. And I wish Trina didn't have to go through this, but at some point, y'all either gonna have to bring Spencer back or get my girl a new man, because this is a mess. This is a mess. And Jocelyn comforted her after they talked and everything. So Laura and Dante are down to the long-term care facility. And Laura's talking to Lulu and telling her that, hey, Charlotte and Rock are doing wonderful, even though Charlotte is now missing with aphasia. And Lulu would be proud of her children, and I'm just missing you, and all these great things. And Dante Knox, he comes in, and they're just talking, and about these things, and they're just praying that one day she'll wake up to meet her newest nephew and be with her children. And he's like, "Yeah, I pray for that every day." Just talking more and more and more and more. um so they're just sharing different memories about all this stuff, and I wonder, because it's giving towards hints, like the way they're talking, I wonder if we're going to see a Lulu return. At the end of the day, it could happen, it couldn't happen, but let's see what happens if maybe Laura can get all her children back in one space. Okay, we need the Spencer / Weber children all to return. And with that being said, that was it. That was all. I don't have no more to give y'all. Please always check the description box down below for links to great things, especially the vote.gov and the vote.org, so you can be informed and kept up to date about all the elections that are going on around in your city, your town, your county, your parish, and your state. Everyone who's on the ballots, their policies, and what they're running the policies they're running on, what's on the ballots to be voted on, who can you vote for, if can you vote, are you registered to vote. These are all great things, but you got to click the vote.gov and vote.org, and also hit that subscription button and turn on those notifications by hitting that notification bell. And with that being said, I'll see y'all later. Bye.